Initialize sequence now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Video Freaks.
Hello, freaks!
Russian roulette is bareback sex with 6 chicks and one of them has AIDS.
Ooh, Hustler magazine. I finally get to see what a vagina looks. Oh God! Oh my God!
You don't have to do any work. Walk in and sit down. Why do you call yourself stupid for 2 hours?
And any guest you can get on this show, you should consider a special guest.
I'm a horrible fucking human being. I'm seriously going to hell.
Brian, why does everything you touch turn to garbage?
We're completely just fucking self-destructing. Welcome to the Radio Freaks, RadioFreaks.tv. I'm Brian, no Tony this week. If you heard last week's show, you know why. No, I didn't fire his lazy ass. We're doing the beginning of the show last week, and stupid, all you hear is stupid yelling and screaming at the top of the show. And the reason is because Dum Dum spilled a drink all over his mixing board, which is exactly why you don't put your drinks near your electronics, folks. Is because you don't want what happened to Tony to happen to you. So, he's got no mixer board. He did the rest of the show last week and did it from his phone with a mic in, and it didn't sound great, but it sounded okay. And the audio file that he is, amongst other things, just would not allow him to do the show this week, I guess. So he bailed in the midst of waiting for his new audio equipment to arrive, which also means no anti-cast this week. So, you know, thank God for small favors. And the only one I'm going to apologize for that joke is Montez. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to a brand new episode of the Radio Freaks. If you'd like to call the show tonight, 706. No, shit, that's the old number. You know, I went to go give the number out to somebody this week for business purposes, and I almost did the exact same thing. I almost gave out the old number. If you'd like to call the show tonight, 951-FREAKS-0. We've only had the goddamn number for like a year now. I don't know why I wouldn't know it. Of course, 6 years we were using the other one, so there's that. 951-FREAKS-0. That's 951-373-2570 if you'd like to call the show tonight. On tonight's show, our good pal, you know him from Rescue Me, you know him from Top Gear USA, you know him from Nurse Jackie, you know him from Paul Blart Mall Cop, and many, many specials available on television and Netflix and everywhere you can find good comedy stand-up. Our good pal Adam Ferrara comes back to the Radio Freaks. I think he's maybe second or third, tied with maybe Robert Kelly, and if I had to guess, maybe Jim Florentine. Although Florentine might have fewer appearances than Adam. I don't know who's number 2 and who's number 3, but Adam's definitely in the top 3 people that have been on this show the most. I think number 1 is Bobby Kelly. I think. Followed by, if I had to guess, probably Adam Ferrara, and then a close third by Jim Florentine. So, good guy, really supportive of our show, and we appreciate that immensely. He has no idea how much we appreciate that. But, so he's going to be doing some dates in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, at the FM Kirby Center, and we're going to talk to him about that, as well as he's going to be doing some dates on Long Island next weekend for those of you that are up in New York. He'll be at Governor's on Long Island. So, great little venue that you can go see Adam if you're in the area. And then in the second half of the show, we continue to promote Miss Laney's Pornopalooza. If you're in the New York area and you are a red-blooded American male, or female, really, for that matter, and you enjoy porn, I mean, let's face it, who doesn't? If you say you're not watching porn, you're full of shit, honestly. Or that you've never watched porn in your life, you're full of shit. On the second half of the program, continuing to promote Pornopalooza, which is Miss Laney's bachelor party that she's throwing for herself this coming Thursday at Headquarters Gentlemen's Club in New York. The beautiful Loretta Vendetta will be on with us in the second half of the show. So stay tuned for that. If you would like to catch up, or stay caught up, I should say, on what's going on with the Radio Freaks, you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Radio Freaks. And if you're a Twitter person, Tony's a Twitter person, not so much with the Facebook. He got rid of his Facebook, but he is a Twitter person, loves the Twitter. If you are on Twitter and you want to follow us that way, keep up with us, you can do that at The Radio Freaks on Twitter. And you can follow Tony's Horseshit at Trash Can Lives on Twitter. And you can follow me on Twitter at Woodfloor Liquor. And you can keep up with the Anticast, the companion podcast to this one, if you will. That's Tony and Montez's show. You can catch them every week. And there you can follow them on Twitter at Anticast Live and check out their website, anticast.live. You can listen to them the same places that you can hear the Radio Freaks. And hear both shows on iTunes, both shows on Stitcher. Pretty much everywhere you can get a podcast, you can get both of our shows. So check those out. And shout out to our good pal, Uncle Eddie from the Ham Radio Show. Check out his show, hamradioshow.com. He's a great show. Gets really great guests. I'm amazed every week at some of the guests that he gets. And he's personal friends with Dennis Hoff out at the Bunny Ranch in Reno, Nevada, which, I'm a little jealous of that. But I mean, there's things that he's jealous of that, that I do, or that people that I'm friends with. So I guess I've got that. It's a mutual admiration society, I believe. But he's got pictures up that just amaze me from his days working at K-Rock and all sorts of other things. He's got one of my favorite SNL cast members as his profile photo at the moment, Bobby Moynihan. So some of the people that I've taken pictures with, he also has pictures with as well. But he's got a ton more. So as somebody who is a celebrity photo whore, I'm definitely very jealous in that regard. So, anyway, let's see, what else? Like I said previously, big information coming soon. Can't really talk about it, but it's going to be huge. And I don't mean like Donald Trump, huge. It's going to be huge. No. It has nothing to do with either of the presidential candidates, because, we don't like really talking politics on the show. But it will be immensely enormous for the Radio Freaks, and it will be a very good thing. Let's just say we're finding people that like our show. It's working out well. So some big things coming. Hopefully you will continue to join us for the show every Wednesday right here, 9 p.m. East, 6 p.m. West on RadioFreaks.tv. And Stitcher and iTunes and everywhere else. But, so big things coming. Stay tuned for that. By the end of the year, we should be able to put those things in place. But we're in talks right now for some really big shit. So I'm excited about that. And if you have suggestions for guests or somebody that you'd like to see on the show or something like that, shoot me an email at brian@radiofreaks.tv. Or hit me up on Twitter or Facebook. And we get suggestions all the time. We do our best to try and work with people and get fans connected to the people that they want to talk to through our show, of course. Both comedians and adult film stars, and even other pop culture celebrities. We do our best to try and get people on the show so that the fans have access and can talk to them and get their questions answered. So we're an intermediary in that regard. But I was at my firehouse this week, and I mentioned that we were having Adam Ferrara on the show. And I got told how lucky I am. And I truly believe that I am very lucky to have I don't consider him a friend because I believe that that means that we are a lot closer than we actually are. I'm sure he doesn't consider me a friend. We are business acquaintances, but I am very lucky to have even that kind of a friendship with him. He always knows who I am, always happy to see me. And the guys at the firehouse, honestly, a little jealous. But the downside to that, though, is if I have to hear one more goddamn time, oh, you should bring Adam Ferrara to the firehouse, it's not going to happen. Stop asking. If you want to see Adam, go to Helium when he's in town and see him there. Or go to the Stress Factory in New Brunswick and see him there. Or go down to Borgata and see him there, because he goes to all three places. So if you need connections and getting tickets, that I can maybe help you with. But he's not coming to the goddamn firehouse, and I would not impose on our friendship, or as small or large as it is, to even think that he would want to spend the few minutes downtime that he has when he's traveling in different cities to want to stop by. However, if you he does like, he told me, wearing the T-shirts that he got from different firehouses as a result of doing Rescue Me. So if you happen to be a firefighter or an EMT and you would like to send him a T-shirt, he does enjoy that. So feel free to do that. And maybe he'll send you a picture of him wearing it or something like that. So I talked to him about that before our interview. And just something I felt like I would pass along to you guys. Because a lot of you guys ask me if it would be possible for him to come to your firehouse or something like that. It's not going to happen. It's not. Man's a busy man. We were talking about how he was shooting Nurse Jackie. Actually, I think you'll hear it in this interview. Unfortunately, it's pre-taped, but as at least we got him at all. So the man's a very busy man. But I think we talked about it in this interview. When he was shooting Nurse Jackie, they flew him back and forth to do Top Gear and Nurse Jackie at the same time. So very, very hardworking guy. And he, like I said, he will be at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania this coming Friday, the 16th. It's an 8 o'clock show. For more information, go to adamferrara.com. The last person I saw at the FM Kirby Center, and I think I said this to him during the interview also, was Bill Cosby before everything popped off with his scandal, as it were. So, but great theater, nice intimate venue, and you'll have a good time seeing Adam. Go to adamferrara.com for more information. Click on tour dates, and everything's right up there. He'll be at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre this Friday. He'll be in Saratoga Springs, New York, at the Saratoga Springs Casino and Raceway at 8 o'clock on Saturday, the 17th. And then next weekend he's doing, looks like 3 shows. An 8 o'clock show on Friday night, the 23rd. Saturday he's doing a 7 and a 9:30 at Governors of Levittown. So go out and see him if you happen to be on Long Island on next weekend. And if you're not from the New York, Pennsylvania area, you can catch him in Vegas the 1st of October in Henderson, Nevada, which is basically Las Vegas. Henderson Pavilion. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 6th, 7th, and 8th of October, he'll be in Timonium, Maryland at Magooby's Joke House Timonium. So check him out there. Our first guest tonight is the great Adam Ferrara. On the phone now, our guest for this evening. He's been on the show many, many times. He's a good friend of ours, the great Adam Ferrara. How are you, sir?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to talk to you, my friend. How are you?
We're great. We're great. Happy to have you back on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You're one of our favorites. You and Bobby Kelly have done the show, I think, neck and neck. So.
I apologize. I'm calling from the car. I'm on the Long Island Expressway, driving out to see my mother.
Ah,
so thanks
nice.
for making time.
Well, we appreciate you.
Is that better? I got the headset on.
That's much better. Yes, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us while you're on your way out to see your mom. That's really nice.
Yeah, I got the one ear. This is what I look like when I'm driving. I have the one earphone in, and I drape the cord over my other ear so the mic is sitting right in front of my mouth.
That's a visual. That's
terrible. This guy just drove by and looked at me like, is his jaw wired? Okay, but you can hear me better, right?
Yes.
What are you looking at? I'm on the phone. Just drive the car.
You would think in Long Island that would not be an odd sight to see.
Yeah. Everyone's got to judge you.
So it's been a little while since we had you back on. We missed you for your Stress Factory dates, which I hope went well up at Vinny's place over there.
It went well until I had to come home because now I guess I've been gone for a while. The Holland Tunnel is $15.
Oh,
to get
dude,
back home.
You're preaching to the choir.
$15. I don't know what the language is on your show, but fuck you. $15. Fuck you. Nothing's different. There's no food. There's no show. You don't get your car washed. Same damn tunnel. $15. Fuck you, Chris Christie. You know what? I'm not even political at all, Chris Christie. I mean, I'm not. But it's like, here's where I come down politically. I don't make enough money for the Republicans to care about me, and I make too much for the Democrats to give me shit. So no matter who's elected, I'm screwed. $15 for the tunnel. I don't want to fact shame anybody, but you fat bastard. $15. I love it. Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I can't do my job. Really? What if your office is, I don't know, upstairs? What about that? Good morning, Mr. Governor. Close the bridges. Raise the tunnels for $15. We got to move the office downstairs, and I need the stomach surgery. Why doesn't Trump love me? Oh, God, am I annoyed.
I was just explaining that to a friend of mine the other day. You can get into New Jersey all you want to, but you got to pay to get the fuck out. That's the racket.
Yeah. Oh, my God, I couldn't believe $15. I was like, you can't. And then, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, you take the ticket, going through the toll, you get to New Brunswick where it's dressed for $3. Going back, you take a ticket, same distance, $6.75.
Wow, I didn't notice that. That's interesting.
I noticed it because I had to do it 3 nights in a row.
Vinny didn't put you up in New Brunswick, or you just opted to go home?
No, I wanted to stay in my apartment.
That makes sense. Now, you think that's bad. I don't have it quite as bad as you, but I've got the same racket coming from Philadelphia because it's $5 to cross that bridge every time I cross the bridge. So,
yeah.
Even if I'm running an errand.
Weren't the tolls just to be until the bridge is paid for?
Yeah, exactly. Which, has been how long? It's been up there for forever.
I don't know. They wash the tunnel. That's it. That's all you got to do. You got to wash it. You got to clean it.
Well, they used to have car washes. They used to have car washes at the tunnel, but they chased them away. And you still had to pay them too. But well, I just want to let you know that every time I see an awesome fucking car, you are the very first person I think of, because I know that you live and breathe cars. So
yeah, I get those. I had to return it too. Cadillac gave me the CTSV.
Ooh.
640 horsepower, beautiful car. I drove that. I had it for 2 weeks, so I took my wife from our place in Santa Monica. We went up to San Francisco to see my in-laws.
Right.
And I took the car. It was great. It was a great car.
Nice. I gotta imagine that all these car companies are begging for the three of you guys to drive their cars just so that you'll talk about them.
Well, all right, give me another one. I'll talk to you about. Yeah, hello. I'll take another car. Hello, Audi. Can I have an S8, please? Porsche's making a station wagon. They're taking the Panamera and they're going to make a station wagon. From what I read, they're going to preview it at the Geneva Auto Show, and it should be on sale after that for the Porsche station wagon.
That just fucking baffles me. Why would you make an iconic car like the Panamera into a station wagon? I don't get that.
Well, they're older. I mean, Jaguar has an SVU. Bentley has an SVU. It's part of your lineup. You have to have those things. You have to have. Everyone needs like an electric car to balance out the cafe emissions thing, and then you got to have a coupe, and you got to have an SUV.
Right.
So people, when they comparative shop, look, rich people got groceries too. So I guess they need them.
But
here's what I understand. Like, I drove the SLS AMG, which is the beautiful gull-wing. I drove it when it had the gull-wing doors.
Sure.
So I had the gull-wing doors. I'm looking in that car. It's got gull-wing doors. It's a beautiful AMG, beautiful Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
Two-door coupe with a laundry hook for your dry cleaning. If your daily driver is a gull-wing SLS AMG, someone else is picking up your friggin' shirt.
That's what I'm saying. If you can afford that kind of a car, you've got people to do that shit for you. You don't need a station wagon.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand it.
Yeah, but I guess. Well, I know that they're going to premiere it in Geneva, and we'll see what it looks like. I mean, it's already it's a round 4 doors. The Panamera is already like it looks like a big Tylenol. So
Right.
I guess they just squared it off. We'll call it a shooting break and charge them $20,000 more. Same car.
These car companies are the biggest racket with that kind of shit, because you look at it, and depending on the options in the car, that's really what you're paying for. Sometimes it's the name, but it's really like the options in the car. They could look identical on the outside, and you're really paying for the features inside.
Yeah, well, it was also the packaging too. Like you can get like, listen, I want the better radio and I want the heated seats. I don't want a sunroof. It comes as a package. You got to take everything.
Yeah,
you got to take everything you want. And I tell you, new cars are the worst thing you can buy because you're taking them. I think it's 47% depreciation.
Yep.
I mean, the best, like I've never bought a new car. I've always bought the newest car I've ever bought has been a lease return.
Okay.
I bought an 08 E350 for my wife in 2010. It had 17,000 miles on it. It was, so it's what, a $55,000 car. You walk out, you can get it for $35,000. You can knock $20,000 off of it, and still have the bumper to bumper warranty for like a year and a half, and you can extend that for like maybe $1,200-$1,400. So.
That's the thing too. These cars depreciate immediately after they roll off the lot. So you're losing money right off the bat if you're buying new.
Yeah, and if you lease it, you're just renting a car for 2 years. You don't have any equity, which could be the way to go. But whatever. It's like the new iPhone. You got to get the new, which I'm not getting. Are you getting? I'm not. Now there's no cord, and it's like Bluetooth. There's no cord in the iPhone, and it's a fingerprint. So you have to turn your car on, turn your phone on with a fingerprint.
Right.
You know they're keeping the fingerprint. You know that they're keeping. They're scanning. They're keeping them. They end up at a crime scene somewhere. I'm not taking a freaking. I'm paranoid, man. I don't know when this happened to me. I guess the Zika also triggered my germ stuff. Because now I got a germ thing I never had. I mean, I'm not bad. I'm not the boy in the plastic bubble or Howie Mandel bad. But I'm still like, I wear a condom when I carpool. I don't trust anybody anymore. I don't want to catch the thing. I get on the plane. I'm drinking my hand sanitizer. I sanitize the damn the table. I'll sanitize the whole table. And the air thing, that little air blower. Yep. I sit next to me. I turn it on and I point it to the germiest guy I could find within my three seat radius. I'm like, look at this guy. He's beeping when he inhales. He can't be. Let me blow the air over there.
And you travel a lot. You're bi-coastal, so you've got places on both ends of the country. You're I was looking at your schedule. Whoever does your tour dates, by the way, which I'm hoping it's not you, but whoever does your tour dates really needs to just stop throwing darts at a map. Because you're like every weekend, you're back and across the country every fucking weekend.
I know. Jersey was here. Then I got Wilkes-Barre Friday.
Right.
And I got Saratoga on Saturday. Then I'm flying back home, and then I'm coming back to Long Island to do Governors. I have to go home because I got a meeting. And here's the thing, Brian. If I don't smell my wife's hair at least once every week, once every 10 days, shit gets broken. So I got to go home to them. Yeah, she calms the big monkey down.
I tell you what, your wife is gorgeous. I can certainly understand why you would need to do that. So. I got to go home. I got to go to home base and see my girl and my dogs. Yes.
So once if I do that, I'm okay. Then I'll go out and forage for the family. So
you're doing Wilkes-Barre this weekend at the FM Kirby Center.
Yeah.
The last time I was up there, I went to go see Bill Cosby on his latest tour. Right before everything broke, like 2 weeks later, everything broke. And all that news came out, but that was like right before everything came out. It was
the Bill Cosby "Are You Sleepy" tour.
Oh man, who'd have thought? I mean, Bill Cosby of all people would get wrapped up in something like that. You would think shit like that would have come out a long time ago, but I guess if you keep it under wraps well enough and pay off the right people. It just, you can't, they say don't meet your heroes or don't idolize people.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I met, and I can understand why. I did meet two of my heroes, and it was great. I met Pryor and I met Carlin, and they were great to me.
Wow.
I actually opened for Carlin for 2 shows.
Right.
At the Comedy and Magic Club, I had a weekend. I was headlining Comedy and Magic Club, and I get a call from my manager, and he says, "Listen, they gotta move your weekend from the weekend, or you can open." And right away, my ego kicks in. I'm not opening for some sword swallowing magician. Who the hell do they think? Who the hell do they think I'll open for? And they said, George Carlin. Does he need a ride? Can I pick him up? What can I do? So of course I took the gig.
Sure.
So and you can't talk to him before the show. He's in the green room and the door's closed.
Right.
And they say, look, but afterwards, if you want to meet him, he'd be more than happy to meet you. So that's nice. So the MC brings me up. I do my half hour, whatever it is, and the Comedy Magic Club is set up like a little theater, so it's like little wings on the side.
Right.
So I walk off stage, and there's this little guy with a beard is standing there in the dark, and he goes, "You're funny." And I went, "And you're Carlin." And we stood there and we talked for like 5 minutes, and we just got, he quoted a joke. I love that joke. And we're just sitting there talking, and he missed his intro because we're just backstage bullshit.
Wow.
And the audience starts clapping. They go, "Is that me?" I go, "I think it's you, George." And he went out and did his set. And then after my wife was there. We came to the green room. He was talking to us after the show. I took pictures, the whole thing. He's like, "All right, see you tomorrow night." And then I was like, he was great. And I was like, I was talking to my wife, "How great is this? George Carlin watched my whole set." And then I'm like, "Oh, shit. George Carlin just watched my whole set, and I got to open for him again tomorrow night. I can't do any of the same material." He's had 9 specials.
Yeah,
that's got to be. I'm back at the hotel. It went from happy to panic. Now
that's got to be immense pressure to do that.
Yeah. I'm playing this game with my wife called Honey, Is This Funny? So I had to put a whole other set together.
That's got to be nerve-wracking, man. I have to tell you what, that's some fucking pressure, especially for somebody like George Carlin. But it was
great. I had another good set, but he was a sweetheart, man. It was really just to meet him was great. And Pryor was the same thing. I met Pryor at the American Comedy Awards. When that used to be a thing, I got nominated for Best Male Stand-Up, and you sit there and they show a clip, and Pryor's table was next to the table I was sitting at, And they showed a clip, and after the show, there's the little meet and greet and a party, and I was all nervous. I didn't want to go up and say anything.
Sure.
And Mary Ellen Hooper, my friend Mary Ellen Hooper, pushed me and said, "You're never going to get this opportunity again. You idiot! Just go up and say hello." I said, "Yeah, you're right." So I went up. He was in the wheelchair. I went up. I said, "Mr. Fryer, I just want to say, hello." And he just went, "You were the guy in the clip." He goes, "Man, you're funny." I said, "Oh, thank you." And he took a picture with me. It was great.
Wow.
So those two, when they say don't meet your heroes, I understand it, but I got lucky twice. So that was cool.
I got to tell you, being a fan of comedy that I am, it's always. Now, you and I have talked several times. We've in person on the show, and a lot of these guys that we talk to too. But I still occasionally will get butterflies about coming to hang out with you or coming to see somebody else because I'm that big of a fan of comedy, and because you guys have always been great to me, and I'm always nervous about fucking that up somehow. Because, really...
Well, this is it. This is right after... It's all going to shit right now. You've had your time. I've spoken to everybody, and there's a website called Enough is Enough. And we're done. All right? I called to say goodbye, and I think Bobby Kelly, next time he sees you, just kick you in the balls, and that's going to be it.
It's kind of like that because I'm in the fire service, so all of my friends are like, "Oh shit, Adam Ferrara, you should get him down here to our firehouse." I'm like, "That's not going to happen, and don't put that kind of pressure on me." It's just ridiculous. But I mean, firefighters especially love you. I drop your name at any firehouse I'm near, and they're instantly, "Oh my God, he's great. We love Adam Ferrara. You should get him to come down here." Always the first thing out of people's mouths.
What's great is I'm very proud of Rescue and being able to play. Believe me, make believe I'm a hero. So that was great. I get to make believe I was a hero. But I have, and to this day, I have most of my T-shirts have some kind of firehouse on it.
That's cool.
So all my T-shirts are fire, and I got all the glasses, and I wear them. I was just where was I? I just on a plane, and some woman said, "You a firefighter?" I said, "No, no." I made believe I was one, and some guy next to me recognized me and said, "No, he was on a TV show." I said, "That's convenient. That's very convenient." But when you don't have to explain yourself to people, when you get other people to explain your wardrobe choice, that's very convenient. He was like, "Oh, you a firefighter?" I go, "No, I'm just an actor that played a firefighter." And the guy next to me goes, "No, he was on a show called Rescue Me that played firefighters." I'm like, "Well, you guys don't need me. I can go."
Yeah, but that speaks to how well you did in that role. So, I mean, for people to have that, I mean, and you came on mid run of the show, or so you weren't.
Yeah,
even,
I came on the end
the
of season 3, and I think we did 7. So I was about 4 years in.
So, I mean, to have that kind of a following and burn that kind of an impression with that role into the minds of a very cynical group of people, I must say. People in the fire and EMS service, very cynical group of people with the shit that they see on a daily basis. So to do a role like that justice, I think all of you guys that participated in that show really made a great impression, not just to us, but I think to the general public, and put us even in a better light. So we definitely appreciate that. Because
it was a great show to do, and I think, I don't know if it's cynical. I think it's more actually not only the fire service and the EMS and cops and everything, but it's also an East Coast thing.
Yes,
because my wife is she's from Northern California, in the wine country.
Yes,
and everything's made of coconut, and I live under a mushroom. There's no here cynical like. In New York, New York, where I grew up, was kindness was greeted with suspicion, pretty much.
Yep.
Like, you want some coffee? Why? What's in it? You drink it first. We'll see what happens to you, Mr. Starbucks.
But your wife and I had a great conversation, and immediately after that, your wife had never met me before. And we're standing in the parking garage at Helium, and your wife says to me, "Oh, you had Adam on the show. Next time you're out in L.A., you should definitely let us know. You should come over for dinner." And you turn to me and go, "She's going to get us fucking killed one of these days. She's talking to fucking everybody."
Yeah. Yeah, come over there. Honey, get in the car. Get in the car.
She means well. She really does. She's a sweetheart.
She's such a beautiful person, and she's got such a free spirit. And you know what I do love about my wife is I've corrupted her. Being married to me for this long has corrupted her. So whenever she curses, I laugh my ass off. It's like Snow White snapping on the dwarfs. It's fucking. You're not dopey. You're stupid motherfucker. I mean, how fucking funny is that?
That's funny. My wife's the same way. My wife's from North Carolina, from the Outer Banks. So when I brought her up, when she came up and we finally got together and we met, it was complete culture shock, and I've corrupted the shit out of her. She's completely different. Yeah. When she goes home, when we go down for a visit home, she's completely different than she is here. So I definitely know about that.
Well, I know when I hear my wife, we'll be watching TV or something, and the news, something's on, and I'll hear my wife going, "What the hell is this idiot talking about?" I go, "You never said that before you met me. You never yelled back at the television."
She clearly has spent a few minutes with your father too, because that was his thing, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, she was like that. That was funny. Whenever she, especially during football season. Like I'll be downstairs screaming, I'll hear her upstairs going, "Son of a bitch!" It's like having a beautiful parrot.
Yes.
You don't realize what you sound like until it comes back in a high-pitched voice. Running the ball on 3rd and 8, you stupid bastard! What's wrong with you? You know. So.
Oh man.
All he wants a first down.
Well. You, speaking of great roles that you've done, it wasn't really a role so much as, it was more reality, but, of course, the other great thing that you're known for on television, Top Gear. I'm sure everybody's been bombarding you. Bombarding you with
what
questions.
happened is, I think, from what we got going on now, is, BBC, who runs the show, also does the English version.
Right.
And they're in a transitional period. They're transitioning.
Oof.
So that's what they told us. So basically, those 3 guys went to Amazon, and our contract was up, and so they're still trying to figure out what they're doing with the mothership.
Right.
As far as like they had Matt LeBlanc and the other host, and the other host left, and they're just revamping everything. So they're focused on that. This is what I know, Brian. They said we're focused on that,
right.
But we are very interested in keeping a version of Top Gear US going. So. We're trying to figure everything out, which is great. But in the meantime, I can't go to the bank on the 1st of the month and go, "Guess what I heard?"
Yes, exactly. No wonder you're flying across the country every other weekend.
The good news is the 3 of us still want to do it. So
right.
We're all in a standby mode. In the meantime, I get to go back and do stand-up. So I'm hammered down on my tour.
Right.
Probably till, if I remember correctly, I know until December. So probably till Christmas.
Right.
And then we'll see what happens. But it's a great. I mean, the 3 of us still want to work together. I mean, we still talk.
Well, I mean, you guys worked together for so long. How do you not?
So.
Yeah, I mean, you guys became such great, real close guys on the show. I mean, how do you not stay in touch, even if you're not working together? I mean,
well, yeah, that's the thing. We were either going to bond or we were going to kill each other. Something was going to happen. So I'm glad it went that way because it's a hard show. It's a physically demanding, and scheduling's a pain in the ass, and you're always, we're daylight dependent, so we're always shooting sun up to sundown. And,
sure.
And you're not in the best, cause it ain't like movie making where you got trailers. We're driving up a volcano in Iceland. And
right.
There's no Hyatt.
Exactly.
We're sleeping in the back of trucks and, and fishing shacks, but
not to mention
fjords and glaciers and stuff.
Not to mention, you guys aren't nobodies. So you came into this with your own careers. I mean, Tanner's got a race career that he's got to work shooting around. You've got your stand-up career, and then there's, NASCAR that needs to be worked around and everything else. So, I mean, like, that's a lot, I would imagine, to schedule you 3 guys to be in the same fucking place to do the show. So that's got to be an undertaking in itself.
The schedule is a pain in the ass, and it's also, like we were. Like, I didn't sleep for 2 years because I was doing Nurse Jackie while we were shooting.
Wow.
Top So it's like I went from set to set. I was on top of a mountain in California. I drove an Escalade up a ski lift up a mountain.
Yeah.
And they got this little helicopter to bring me down and get me to the airport because I had to catch a red eye. So they get this little helicopter to take me to this little airport to fly me to LAX. And then I took the red eye back to New York, and they picked me up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I went to my little dressing room. I took a shower, and I was on the set at 7:30.
Wow.
Doing a scene at 7:30 in the morning with no sleep. So that was the hardest one because I don't remember much of that, but I remember I didn't sleep, and that wasn't out of the norm for like that shooting schedule. But they were very nice on Jackie because it was just me and Edie Falco, so our scenes were always together. So they would block shoot it, so we would come in for 2 episodes and just shoot the Frank and Jackie stuff.
Gotcha. I mean, the schooling stuff and it does kind of beat you up, but it's this business. It's you dance when the music's playing. Exactly. I was just gonna say, as rough as that was, you're the type of person I know personally that probably still appreciated being able to do all that stuff and have that opportunity, even though it was rough to do at the time.
Yeah, it's like this business when you get when the employment gods smile on you and you get an opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
I'll sleep when I'm dead. Which could be in about 20 minutes. They keep going the way they are.
I noticed that you're doing.
You gotta take care of yourself, man. That's the whole thing. You're taking care of yourself. Actually, I've been meditating. Like I've been meditating for years, but right now I've raised my awareness to the point where I realize what a fucking idiot I am.
Really?
I look at the stuff like, I'm just like this happened the other day. You know that moment in an argument when you realize you're wrong?
Yep. Yeah.
But you got to double down to get out of it. So I know I'm wrong, but I got to raise my voice and ride this out.
And pray she doesn't call me on it.
I'm going to have to apologize, but for some reason I can't do it now. I don't even remember what the fight's about, but I ain't going to lose. It happened the other day. No, honey, you don't understand. Well, then explain it to me. I can't talk to you.
You do this to me every time.
And you think, did I get away with it? You didn't get away with it.
No, they know.
And the yelling is never as loud as the deafening silence that happens after that.
Oof. That is very, very uncomfortable. I've been in that situation many times. It's nothing worse than that fucking silence. Because then you're like, well, is it blown over yet? Or are we still fighting? Or what's the situation?
No, it's bubbling up is what it's doing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the shifting of the plate tectonics. There's going to be an earthquake. You don't feel the rumble. Then, wait, what was that? And then a building falls down.
Uh-huh.
I hate getting a disagreement on the road because we'll Skype when I'm on the road, and I know she's mad at me when she takes her picture down, but she won't hang up. So she'll put up like a picture. Like the other day, we got in an argument. I had Ariel giving me the finger, this little mermaid who was mad at me.
That's funny. Speaking of online stuff, I noticed you're doing something new to entertain yourself while you're on the road.
Facebook Live.
What is this Talk to Me Tuesday?
It's called Talk to Me Tuesday, and it was at the same time when Top Gear used to air. Because I used to live tweet during the show.
Yeah.
And we would get to, and you get to meet the fans. You actually have, once a week, you're talking to the same people, and you get used to it. They come out to see your show, you take pictures, and you make internet friends. And then when the show, when the season wrapped, you miss those people. And when they would come to the live shows, they're like, I miss Tuesday nights. And my wife, being as smart as she is, said, let's just answer questions. So she turned on the camera one day, and it was questions were coming in, and I started talking. And we came back the next week, and these people came back, and it's called Talk to Me Tuesday. It's at 9:00 on Tuesdays Eastern, 6:00 Pacific. And it's me in my backyard just bitching. It should be called bitching in the backyard. But it's just my wife. She turns on the camera, and I answer questions, and the conversation goes one way or another way. And she's standing behind the camera, shaking her head, going, "Don't say that, you idiot." And it's live, and I was looking at the feeds and everything. It's 30,000 people.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I'll do this again next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So I guess it's.
You periscope on the way to your gigs sometimes, and your wife's holding the phone and kind of curating the questions and spitting them out to you, and you're just answering them while you're driving. I think that was a great idea, and then it's kind of graduated to this Talk to Me Tuesday thing.
Yeah, it's like, we get the same people that come back, and it's almost like, how was your week? And then people,
Right.
They ask me questions, and we talk about it. And I had no idea. It's a lot of fun, and people really seem to enjoy it. And there seems to be a great deal of people that come every week, which is great. And it's just my wife and a camera, and the dogs running around. I'll be honest with you, it's having a camera in your life, I guess, is okay. Italians don't like surveillance traditionally. But this seems to be working out. So
yeah, I was going to say your paranoia might be more of a heritage thing than a getting older thing.
Yeah, I think. Well, there's a lot of conditioning with my, especially like. Look, we know each other well enough. I can tell you this: every Italian guy thinks that they're connected. Every guy. I remember when I was a kid, I was having a little problem. My cousin goes, I should make a call? Like, who are you going to call? You called me to pick you up. Who are you going to call? You live in your mother's basement. Who are you? You work for the water company. Who are you calling with all your influence? Want me to make a call? Yeah, every guy, like my family. No one's going to get killed in my family. Like something falls off a truck, we're not going to put it back.
Exactly.
But, no one's getting dead over. Well, my uncle maybe. My uncle was kind of. He was scared the shit out of me. He'd come over our house. You'd see him. He'd walk by and go, "Hey, kids, I put something in the basement. Don't go down there for about a week." Oh, okay.
The family's not what it once was either anymore. It's kind of much, at least quieter, if not a little smaller than it used to be. So
Yours or mine?
No, the family, that family.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's yeah.
Yes.
I don't keep up with it. I don't get the newsletters. To be honest with you.
But you've kind of with this whole live streaming video stuff that you're doing between Periscope and Facebook Live. I mean, you've got your own family. I mean, I've kind of become friends with some of the regulars that chat with you, like CGI Girl and Faust Chick and Aaron and all those guys. They're regulars.
All those guys. They're great. They came to see me at in Burbank when I was at Flappers, and they came to Dallas to see me. And it's just you make these friends, and it's really really cool, to be honest with you, to be able to have like an audience that you can interact with rather than just you see people at your shows or we watch you, but you're interacting every week, so it's kind of fun, and it's and I never expected anything there. Who knew? The internet is just not for porn anymore.
It's still mostly for porn, but it's good for social media too.
Yeah, so that was really and I actually look forward to to talking to people, and I got a lot of nice, and it's an extension of the Top Gear family. I mean, one of the things I really love about the show is when I get tweets and emails and Facebook about the kids that like the show. Like I had one of our favorite ones we had is this woman's a single mom. She's got a kid that's 14-year-old boy. And this is the only time they both sit down together and they watch Top Gear together. And she has trouble. It's a 14-year-old kid, so you have trouble, connecting to her son. And she said, "I hope my son one day makes friendships that you three have." And that's really nice to see if you can provide that for the kids. And you see, they come out to see you live, like at Saratoga. I'll do a car show, and you sign autographs, and the kids take pictures, and they look up at you. They got this look, and they know all the cars. And they look at the mole on my face like, is that chocolate?
And you say that about the having friendships like you guys do, what you Rut and Tanner, but you can tell when somebody, most of the time, at least I can, when people are doing staged, scripted friendship kind of shit on TV. I think usually I can. The stuff between you guys, you can tell, just the way you guys interact with each other on television is just so genuine because it's coming from a place of true friendship. So.
Yeah, but there's no script. It's just us. It's like everybody goes,
Right.
like, who writes it? There's no script. It's like when I'll do something like I jump the caddy and we go as fast as we go. I'll wreck a car and they're like, "Did you have a stunt guy?" Stunt guys? We don't have money for lunch. Are you kidding me?
And just the nicknames, the Bearded Lady and Tiny Dancer, and they shake their head and they know that, well, that's Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Those guys, and the questions we have, like when we do live events, it's like we'll tell stories when we do panel stuff, and it's like you forgot this stuff happened because we all have stories about each other when they ask questions, and we forgot we've done half this stuff. So it's just nice to be able to share that with people.
Well, I will tell you, I know you don't have any control over it, and I'm sure you get all this useless advice from the fans that you wish you could do something about, but I know that you don't have that kind of power. But with this turmoil going on with the mothership, as you call it, I really think that I don't understand putting LeBlanc in, first of all. But you've got something that works in the Top Gear USA format. Why not just make you guys the mothership and let it be?
Hey.
So.
Church, baby, church. Just quiet.
I mean, the original guys had a formula of a friendship that was working till right towards the end there, and you guys have that formula. You guys have that genuine.
Well, that was
friendship,
actually it's funny. We did a press event when we in our year one. We went to London to do a press event with Hammond, and I met the guy, one of the creators, and he said 3 is the right number.
Yes.
So we messed around with a couple of different, like 4 is too many and 2 is just a couple. 3 is like a gang because the audience is the next member of it. So, and he was right. Andy Willman was the creator. He created it with Jeremy Clarkson.
Right.
And he's the one that said, that's what we stumbled upon, and they were on for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're still on. They're still going. So. Yeah, look, it's show business, man. It is what it is. It's a lot like life.
Yes.
It ain't fair, and don't be late.
Speaking of don't be late, don't sleep on getting tickets to the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre this Friday to go see Adam. It's an 8 o'clock show. I've been there. It's a beautiful theater. Really intimate, too. So you'll like it, and the fans will love it. Definitely go and get your tickets. You can get them at adamferrara.com. If for some reason you are not in that area and you're listening from the New York market, definitely get your tickets to go see him at Sarasota Springs Casino and Raceway on Saturday, or in Levittown the following weekend at Governor's. And you won't regret it. I that's the one thing too, is knowing you guys, I see that you guys are out there, and I go to your shows frequently as much as I can. And I know you particularly have got to be fucking tired of seeing my fat ginger face. Oh, it's Brian. He wants to talk to you. But really, I mean, you don't get the same show. There's one joke you tell every time you come to Philadelphia, and I laugh every fucking time, even though I know it's coming. But for the most part, the whole rest of the set is almost completely new every time. And you really, really do a great job at slaying the audience when you're out there. So.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you got to keep it new to keep people coming back, and I always like it's Philadelphia, I know, because I know the joke, and you come see me in Philly, and that's one of my. In fact, I'm back there at the beginning of March, I think. March.
Yeah, usually you're out here in the middle of fucking dead of winter. I don't know why you choose dead of winter to come to Philadelphia, but.
But I'll be there in March. But yeah, it's a really, really good town, and I always look forward to coming to Philly. So I thank you, my friend, and hopefully I will see you soon.
Catch Adam. Go to his website to get tickets for those shows, adamferrara.com. You can follow him on Twitter at adamferrara, and definitely check out Talk to Me Tuesday on Facebook Live. You can check him out. It's facebook.com/adamferrara, and it's Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on the East, 6 p.m. on the West, you said, right?
Yep.
Very good. Very good. And occasionally check him out on the Periscope, too. He's doing the Periscope shows as well. So until you get back on TV on the regular basis with Top Gear, hopefully, people can keep up with you on social media at least. So it's great talking to you,
Always
my friend.
Talk to my friend.
And I can't wait till you come back. We'll see you soon.
You take good care, pal.
Thanks, Adam. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Our good pal, Adam Ferrara, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting here listening to the interview as it's playing for you guys because obviously it's pre-taped, so I didn't have to worry about it. This part of the show, anyway, was pre-taped. And I'm sitting there, and I'm laughing at the conversation we had that I just had yesterday. Like, Adam has that effect on me. A few comedians have that effect on me. To be able to sit there and just listen to a regular phone conversation with Adam and be laughing right along with myself in real time. It's, like, ridiculous. So, but always a great time talking to my pal Adam Ferrara. And like he said, it's always a pleasure to have people come out and say hi to you. So when you go out to these shows, especially if you're there to see Adam, definitely let him know that you liked his act and show him some love while you're out there. They do greatly appreciate that. So go out, say hello to our good pal Adam Ferrara. He will be at the FM Kirby Center this Friday, 8 o'clock. For tickets and more information, go to adamferrara.com. That's where you can find his tour dates, information on the FM Kirby Center this Friday, Saratoga Springs Casino and Raceway on Saturday, and then Governors in Levittown next weekend, and Magooby's Joke House in Timonium, Maryland, the weekend after that. So check him out on Facebook for his Talk to Me. Talk to Me Tuesdays. Those are really fun too. To be able to have access to somebody that you see on TV, the way we do with technology these days, is just fucking amazing. I mean, it's great enough that you get to talk to them on Twitter and stuff like that, but then to have them do stuff like a Talk to Me Tuesday or Ask Me Anything on Reddit or something like that is just really, really cool. And Adam is one of the coolest. So definitely go check him out. He will love to see you. Get over to adamferrara.com for more ticket information, and we'll be right back with the very sexy Loretta Vendetta. Stay tuned. This is the Radio Freaks, radiofreaks.tv.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Big J. Okerson, and you're hanging out with the Radio Freaks on radiofreaks.tv.
Want to stay up on what's going on with the show? Like the Facebook page at facebook.com/The Radio Freaks and follow the show on Twitter at twitter.com/The Radio Freaks.
Yo, damn son, I was here to talk to you about Bro Flowers. Yeah, that's right, broflowers.com. If you needs to get Valentine's Day flowers for your mama, your baby mama, your shorty, or your secretary, broflowers.com is the place to go. Shit, we get you the freshest flowers money can buy. We use our assorted network of growers such as hospitals, churches, cemeteries, nursing homes, and those fucking gas stations where you could buy a rose for $1 and shit. We use all them to cut out the middleman and give you the best prices in town, son. Shit, we ain't kidding around. And yo, if you act today and enter in code word Obama when you place your order, you gonna get a free, that's right, a free vase courtesy of Maxwell House, son. Yeah, shit. Broflowers.com, when you got to get the best flowers for Valentine's Day.
Hey, it's your old pal, Dr. Steve.
And your little pal, Dr. Scott.
From Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, heard exclusively on riotcast.com and Sirius Channel 206 or XM Channel 103 at 10 p.m. Eastern or on demand. Now back to the Radio Freaks with our favorite Obeso Americans, Brian and Tony.
Hey guys, it's your friend Dr. Scott from the Weird Medicine Show with Dr. Steve. A quick reminder that if you're like the rest of us, stressed out, worn out, and looking for a safe and effective, convenient alternative, give My Simply Herbals a try. Fatigue Reprieve will give you the boost of energy without all of the sugar or caffeine. Stress Less lowers anxiety and tension in a subtle but powerful way. The perfect stress-reducing formula. Give My Simply Herbals a try at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net.
The Summer Olympics. Hundreds of events, thousands of athletes, millions of my stupid visa spots. Are you sick of hearing my ass? I am. Hell, I don't even use Visa. I'm old school, biatch. I use Diners Club, and that's when I pay for crap. Usually folks see me and go, put away your wallet, Shawshank. That breakfast burrito's on us. Visa. Proud sponsor of the Olympics for 25 years.
If there's a black entertainment network, shouldn't there be a white entertainment network?
Do you say sorta racist stuff but stop short of saying the N-word? Enjoy the refreshing taste of diet racism. The same sweet ignorance of regular racism, but with none of the guilt or self-awareness.
You know I'm not racist, but I would never date an Asian guy. Ugh.
Diet racism. Because you're afraid of blacks and Latinos, but you'd never say that out loud. It's the perfect beverage for people who don't directly contribute to oppression, but have strong opinions about how other cultures should handle it.
Stopping press shouldn't be a problem if you got nothing to hide.
For that busy, on-the-go professional who doesn't have the strength to admit he's been given at least a slight advantage by being born white.
The Irish were persecuted too, you know.
For the stay-at-home mom who hates affirmative action because she doesn't remember that black kids had to be escorted to school by the army.
My kids would have a way easier time getting into college if they were minorities.
Diet racism, because you just don't get it. The official beverage of the Washington Redskins.
If you missed any part of the show, download it.
Shit, I can download it? Tell me where, announcer guy, I'm confused.
You can listen to the Radio Freaks every week right from your smartphone. Check us out on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio. Both available in the Apple Store and Google Play.
Like a lot of people, I love to smoke. But my friends and family always make me go outside to do it. So that's why I now use e-meth. It's crystal meth, but electronic. So it produces vapor instead of smoke. And that means I can ride the ice pony anywhere I want.
Smoking is a social thing for me. Without my meth pipe, I don't know what to do with my hands. But now I do know what to do with them. Smoke meth. It's good.
Thanks to E-meth, now I don't even need to leave the bar to get my sweet shabu shabu. Mama can smoke that chunky white crunch anywhere. At the office, at the grocery store, in a bathtub in the middle of the road. Or face down in a big old tire.
E-meth is healthier because it doesn't contain antifreeze. But it still has that great meth taste.
E-meth lets me get totally gacked up on whoop chicken without yellowing my teeth. See? Perfectly white. What? Hello? This is he.
Thanks to E-meth, I can now even smoke inside my favorite restaurant.
Excuse me, sir. You can't smoke meth in here.
It's okay. It's electronic.
I don't care. You're in my living room and you're naked.
E-meth is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor if you experience body rot, face melt, painful death, or fatigue.
E-meth. You know it's good because it's blue, bitch.
They said Michael Phelps would never succeed as a swimmer. They were wrong. They said Michael Phelps would never win gold. They were wrong. They said Michael Phelps would never smoke a doob the size of a baby arm. They were wrong. Visa, proud sponsor of the Olympics for 25 years.
I'm Vinny Brand, and this is the world-famous Stress Factory Comedy Club. Every single weekend, right here in New Brunswick, the biggest names in the business. Get some great food and a cold beer, and you'll see the best stand-up comics the country has to offer. Log on to StressFactory.com to buy your tickets and check out all the best show information. Or call us at 732-545-4242. The Stress Factory. Your friends are right. This place is great.
Do you like your podcast with interviews, guests, comedians, maybe unwarranted opinions about this wacky, kooky election? Well, too bad, and fuck you. Hi, it's Tony, your favorite host from the Radio Freaks, and I'm here with my co-host,
Montez here.
Tune in every week to our show, The Anticast, where we talk about whatever the fuck we want. Hip-hop, sports, Hollywood, even relationships, and much more every week live, anticast.live, not .com. Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you fuckers there.
Subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Follow the show at Anticast Live on Twitter. Brian's a fact.
When my mom is a my daddy goes to asleymedicine.com. There he can lots of other women. When I grow up, I'm going to be an Ashley Madison man. Because my daddy's raising me without any moral compass whatsoever. Ashley Madison, find your lovers here. Why exactly are we singing this? Daddy, what's a road history?
Hey, it's Eddie D from the world-famous Bunny Ranch, home of the HBO Cat House series and author of The Art of the Pimp. And you know what? When I'm not messing with the bunnies, I'm listening to Radio Freaks, radiofreaks.tv.
Welcome back to the Radio Freaks. If you missed the first half of the show, Brian flubbed his way through an interview with someone famous. If you'd like to participate in the show tonight, call 951-373-2570. That's 951-FREAKS-0. Now, back to the show for more of the same shit you used to.
Welcome back to the Radio Freaks, radiofreaks.tv. Some freaky new intro music, or rejoiner music, I should say. Trying some new stuff. Nothing like trying it live on the air. Oh, shit. Great interview with our good pal Adam Ferrara. Go check him out this Friday at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. AdamFerrara.com for tickets. Follow him on Twitter at Adam Ferrara. And don't forget his Talk to Me Tuesdays, Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. East, 6 p.m. West on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Adam Ferrara. Always a fun time having him on the show. He's great to see live, too. Great having him at the Stress Factory, and I'm lucky enough I get to see him twice a year. Stress Factory, and also when he's here at Helium in February, usually. So, it's great. Really, really great. I get double dose of Adam, and it's a great show every time. If you'd like to call the show tonight, you can do that. Pick up the phone. Dial 951-FREAKS-0. It's 951-373-2570. Getting ready for the beautiful Loretta Vendetta, who should be on the show momentarily. She'll be on to promote Pornopalooza, the biggest party of the summer, and you are invited. Miss Laney, who books our guests on the show as far as the adult film stars go, is throwing herself a bachelorette party. And what better way to throw yourself a bachelorette party if you're Laney? Inviting a bunch of porn stars. Don't miss out. You are invited. It'll be Headquarters Gentlemen's Club this Thursday. Doors open at 7 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. And the show starts at 10. So if you get there anytime between 7 and 10, you're good to go. You won't miss a fucking thing. But don't get there much after that because it is going to be jam-packed and you don't want to miss a minute of it. You can hang out with a lot of the girls that you've heard on the show before, including our pal, the beautiful Leighton Benton, another one of our pals, the sexy Peyton Sinclair, the lovely Venus Lux, Nina Lavoie, Dynamite Sex, Kelly Provocateur, Francisco, and the beautiful, the sexy Loretta Vendetta. So don't miss it. For more information, you can go to hqnewyork.com. Like I said, doors open at 7. It's for Miss Laney's bachelor party, the Porno Palooza. Hosted by the guys of the SDR show. You know our good pal, Big J. Okerson, and Ralph Sutton, who's been on the show before. They do the SDR podcast, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll show. And they will be hosting the evening. So that's a +2. You know, you can hang out with those guys, particularly Jay. The man's a very fucking busy guy, so if he's somewhere, you should definitely go see him, especially if you're getting in with all those beautiful women to see him. So definitely something you're not going to want to miss. Oh, man. That, you know, I really enjoy talking to Adam. I really do. I couldn't help but sit here and laugh, too. I've been told I have very infectious laughter, but it's interesting when I'm the one laughing to myself. Is that like... That's kind of twisted, I think. There's got to be something wrong with that. But I don't think I was so much laughing at me as I was laughing at Adam and the conversation that we were having. So, very, very funny. If you missed it, it'll be up later on tonight at radiofreaks.tv for those of you that are just tuning in. So, you can catch the first half of that later on tonight after it's posted. The shows are always posted before midnight up on radiofreaks.tv, and then they're usually posted within the next 2 hours after that. Usually by about 2 or 3 a.m., they make their way over through the interwebs and populate over on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio. So you can usually get them by Thursday morning. Or you can just listen to them right from radiofreaks.tv. The mobile version of our website works pretty good. So to be able to listen to the shows from there is a great thing. So feel free to go to radiofreaks.tv and just listen to them right from there. So I am so bummed that I'm not going to be able to make it over to Pornopalooza this week. And I'll tell you why. Every year I go down to Wildwood for the New Jersey State Firefighters Convention. And we do this a year in advance. Like, the rooms are booked a year in advance. If you've ever tried to get a hotel room in Wildwood the last 3 weeks after Labor Day, forget about it. It's packed. The first weekend after Labor Day is Bike Week. The second weekend after Labor Day is Fireman's Convention. And the third weekend after Labor Day is Irish Weekend. Those 3 weekends, forget about getting a room in Wildwood because it ain't happening. So that's how quickly they sell out and how jam-packed it is down there. And I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't. It'd be very difficult for me to go from Philly to New York down to Wildwood. It's a little bit that's out of my way, and it would be a lot of driving. Not to mention I have other people relying on me to do things down at Wildwood. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to make it, and I'm kicking myself really, really hard that I'm not going to be able to make it down there. So, but don't you kick yourself. You should definitely make it. It's a party that I am jealous that everybody else is going to get to go to. It's one of those things where all the shows that Lainey works with, a lot of the people that Lainey works with will all be there. It's going to be a who's who of people down there. It's not just going to be the adult film stars. You'll be rubbing elbows with people like Pat Dixon, and I'm sure Anthony will be down there, and I'm sure Jim Norton will probably be down there, and a bunch of other people. So definitely go down there if you're able to. Fierce saying Wildwood is a shithole. Yeah, it is, but that's where the convention's held. Unfortunately, I don't choose where the convention's held, so I don't have that choice. So, but you should definitely go and have a good time. HQNewYork.com. Again, it's right across from the Javits Center. You've heard us mention headquarters before. It's a great place. It really is. Really nice layout that they have over there. The girls are beautiful. The attention that you get is top notch at headquarters. Definitely go up there. If you haven't been up there before, this is the time to go. Seriously. This is the time to make the pilgrimage up there. If you haven't been up there before. So. And just a really, really jam-packed list of people that will be there. Like I said, Peyton Sinclair, we had her on the show last week. Little firecracker from Jersey. We spent 15 hours together one day doing press. Actually, with Ralph Sutton, of all people. We I picked Peyton up. We met Lainey and Ralph up in North Jersey, and then we went out to Anthony's, actually, to do press. That was the day of the infamous Greg Shells incident, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. I'm a fan of both those guys. Look, it is what it is. But sucks that it happened. Missed the two of them together. But just the fact that we were out there for what turned out to be a momentous day. I didn't even realize it was going to be such a momentous day when we went out there. But and then Leighton Benton, another person I have a great deal of history with. She's another gorgeous woman that I've done press with again. She'll be out there. She's doing this Whirlwind New York tour at the moment. So she'll be out there. Definitely don't want to miss that. And Mia Vallis was originally supposed to be there. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to make it. But the gorgeous Venus Lux will be out there. So you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss Nina Lavoie, Dynamite Sex, Kelly Provocateur, and Francisco. So, and there's going to be all sorts of giveaways and free stuff available from Dallas Novelty. So definitely go check it out this weekend. And as if I know I'm not doing it justice. So why don't we talk to the person that probably can do it even more justice, because she's part of the show. Joining us now on the Radio Freaks, the beautiful Loretta Vendetta. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We were just talking about the Pornopalooza this weekend that you're participating in tomorrow night at Headquarters Gentlemen's Club. And we love Lainey. We really do. We've been working with Lainey for 5 or 6 years now. And the fact that she's getting married just boggles my mind. I always thought that she was going to be one of these single people that either perpetually dated somebody or just was going to be single for her entire life. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, David's a great guy, and I'm happy that the two of them are together. They're perfect for each other. I just didn't think that they would get married. I figured they'd always just be together. But when you're Lainey and you throw a party, what better fucking party than a party like this? So.
Right. It will not be forgotten. I'll say that.
If you've ever been to Headquarters Gentlemen's Club as a guest and you've seen the type of women that they have there, now you're going to add all these other names, including yourself, and it's going to be a fucking blowout party that people aren't going to want to miss.
It will be my first time there, so I'm pretty excited.
You're in for a treat then.
Yeah, I'm a virgin.
Well, at least you'll have a good place to pop your cherry then. They have a really, really nice facility. And what a wild night to do it on, too.
Exactly.
So I was already warned, and I'm this is going to probably come as much of a shock to you as it did to me when I found out. I was warned already to be on my very, very best behavior. Not that I'm normally not on my best behavior during these interviews, but I was already warned by a crazy Puerto Rican that if I didn't fucking behave myself, I was going to get my ass handed to me. I'm just telling you.
Oh, wow.
That. Yes.
I have bodyguards that I don't even, pay for. This is amazing. Holy crap.
I was hanging out with a very, very close mutual friend of ours last night. And then I'm commenting on something on her Facebook page today, and I saw you with a pizza. And I'm like, what the fuck? She's going to be on my show tonight. How the fuck? It was just bizarre how that happened. And
that is so funny. Of
yeah.
course, I had pizza. Of course, the first picture you saw of me, I'm eating a pizza. That's great.
So, it's weird how the world works sometimes. I was just, I was commenting on something on Liz's page, and then all of a sudden, there's you. Now, I knew you were from South Jersey, Philadelphia area, but I just didn't know that we had so many friends in common, because she's not the only one, apparently.
How do you know Liz? I went to elementary school with her.
I know, that's what she said. So when I saw you,
I've known her since 4th grade.
That's what she said, and I messaged her when I realized that I made the connection, and she's like, "You better fucking be good." I'm like, "Look, this is my first fucking rodeo. First of all, it's my fucking show. I'll do what I want to, but I
just realized she was the crazy Puerto Rican you were speaking of.
Yes, that is the crazy Puerto Rican.
I know a couple crazy Puerto Ricans, and it really could have been either of them, any of them, really. It just clicked that Liz is that one today. Tomorrow, it'll be a completely different crazy Puerto Rican warning you about,
Well, let me just...
That's cool.
I'll just blanket statement. Those Puerto Ricans, not exactly the most stable fucking people in the world. So, just saying.
I put an ad out for crazy Puerto Rican security guards. I guess that's what happened.
Oh, that was too funny.
They have to be Puerto Rican, though.
Yes, absolutely. So, you've actually been down here in this area for all your life, then. So you're originally from this area.
Yeah, from the Camden area.
Yeah, I'm right across the river. I'm down by the airport, so just in Delaware County.
Philly?
Yeah. Actually, I'm right across the river.
I used to work in Delco.
Yeah, no shit. Where at?
Yeah, Lou Turks.
Oh, of course, Lou Turks. Why wouldn't it be Lou Turks?
The only strip club in Delco. Nothing else would survive.
Oh, you're telling me.
Is cockroaches and Cher. They'll never die.
Oh, Lou Turks. I heard that they've revamped the place and that it looks much better than it used to. But the one time that I was in there ages ago, it was like somebody's grandmother was on stage dancing, and it definitely was a beat down version of
it was
some former
someone's
strip
grandmother
club.
dancing on stage.
Let's just be honest.
Could be. What? You can be 40 and be a grandmom already.
Well, that's true. In this day and age, that's true. I wasn't considering that.
I do work with grandmoms. I definitely do. They had their kids young. Their kids had their kids young, and they're 35.
Well, that's not the kind of grandma I was referring to. This woman, I unfortunately, God love her, she was still dancing up into her 60s. So, or she looked like she was 60. So that's probably even worse. But I'm glad that you're moving on to bigger and better things, because you can definitely do much better.
Yeah.
You can definitely do better
I'm
than
like,
there.
you know, I feel like the big fish in the small pond, but it's also very nerve-wracking moving up, you know?
Right.
Like, I like being, like, the big fish in the little pond. I like that, but I feel like maybe it's time, you know? And I think tomorrow night will be kind of like the start of that. I've
That would
never
be
danced
awesome.
at any clubs in New York yet.
Oh, okay.
I went and auditioned at Lace in Times Square.
Right.
Bad idea.
Really?
They really only hire very, 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 very thin girls, and they prefer, like, European.
Yeah, I don't understand
So,
that. Especially,
I was told I was a little too thick. And, you know, I'm in the middle. I'm not a skinny chick, but I'm not a BBW.
Yeah, I definitely would not consider you
I
even
wasn't what
thick.
they wanted.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't even consider you thick. I mean, you're pretty much with the exception of your ass, which is just fucking voluptuous. You're pretty much the average American woman. I mean, you're not super skinny, but you're not,
but in
fat.
terms of, like, modeling, dancing, acting, all of that, I'm, like, the next tier.
Gotcha. I would say I happen to like bigger women. I mean, obviously not super BBWs, but girls with some meat to their bones. Because when I look at a girl, I'm a fat guy too, and you know, if I'm looking to have sex with a girl, she's got to be able to withstand that. You know, I'm not going to lay down on somebody and get charged with murder. You know what I
No,
mean?
actually, skinny girls actually can take the D.
Yes, but my pelvis cannot take their ass bones digging into me. So there's that.
Okay. That makes sense. Because they actually can take a lot of D. That's what
okay.
I've heard.
You can say whatever you want to on this show, by the way. Just I didn't know if you know. So you can curse as much as you want to or as little as you want to. But the fact that it boggles my mind that people don't accept a more realistic image of what the average American woman looks like these days. And these clubs that you work for, even in Philadelphia, if you're not rail fucking thin and have an accent, they don't want to know you.
Yeah.
So that baffles me.
Yeah, a lot of the clubs in the inner Philly, like, city, like Delaware Ave, I can't work at.
Right.
Their opinion about that is that there's a lot of businessmen that come in, and they think that they only want skinny, no tattoos.
Right.
It's not really the case, but I guess it's just their safe bet. You know, it's just their safe way of going about it.
Well, there's
because you're never going to look at a girl and be like, oh, I don't like her because she doesn't have any tattoos.
Right.
Right? Like, even if you're into tattoos, you could still find a girl attractive that doesn't.
Sure.
If you have tattoos, there's actually a good amount of guys that don't like them. They think that they take away your beauty or, whatever. They're a distraction. So it is, I guess, the safer bet to just hire girls without meat and tattoos.
I used to work for a club that has a location on Delaware Avenue, and they have other locations. If you're from this area, obviously you know who I'm talking about, but they have other locations in the Northeast and up in Bucks County. And I worked at the Bucks County location, and I used to look at it back then. We had one in Jersey as well. We didn't have the Northeast location, or just as we got rid of the Jersey one, we got the Northeast one. And I forget what that club used to be called. Was it Night Moves or something else like that? That was up in the Northeast. Night Dreams, or I forget what the hell it was. But I always related that to kind of levels of school. So Jersey or the Northeast was always grammar school. High school was Bristol. And then Delaware Avenue was kind of like the college, as far as the type of girls that they seemed to employ. So the girls that weren't quite perfect, or maybe had too many tattoos, or or whatever would wind up working in Jersey or the Northeast. Where we were in Bristol would kind of get a mixture, and then all the super skinny girls that were the all-American model type would all go down to Delaware Avenue. And I never understood that segregation of the girls, because I think that, I have a dick. I'm a guy. I like a girl with some meat to her bones who's not a fucking model. Because to me, the models, and I say model in quotes, really any beautiful woman could model. But these models, if you will, that are down at Delaware Avenue or those other locations down there are people that, to me, as a bigger guy, are not attractive, because to me they're unattainable. That's not my idea of what's attractive to me. So I think that there's a market for everybody, not just for those super skinny, anorexic type of women. That's just my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I'm fine with it either way, because I'm like, I don't own the club.
Right.
I'm not keeping the lights on there, so hey, how am I going to tell someone how to run their own club? Like, I don't care. It's just one less place I can work at.
Right. I don't know. I like to see.
There's always going to be a club that hires me.
Right. I like to see acceptance a little bit more, I guess. I don't understand why people think that is okay in those type of clubs. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand it from a business perspective, but I like to think that there's guys out there that have much more of an eclectic taste in women, and not just those anorexic types. So I noticed that you also do burlesque dancing. Was that kind of how you got into doing adult work, or was it just it something that you developed afterwards?
Well, I retired from burlesque last year.
Okay. All right.
But I started exotic dancing 8 years ago.
Okay.
And I started burlesque about 5 years ago.
Oh, all right.
5 or 6. Yeah.
What made you?
I was exotic dancing before I was doing burlesque.
Gotcha. Is it what made you want to try burlesque, and what made you eventually stop?
I answered a Craigslist ad.
Oh, okay.
And it said it was a female looking for female dancers for a burlesque show.
Nice.
And it said, like, no pay, right now, but, like, with each show, we'll get paid. So I was like, oh, this is weird. I didn't really know anybody that did it yet. I wasn't in the scene. So I was in that troupe, and that troupe only lasted a couple months.
Right.
And then I was in another troupe, and I decided that there was a different troupe that kind of fit my needs a little more.
Right.
I just didn't like how that troupe was ran. So I ended up joining Rigor Mortis Review out of Philly. And that was really it. So yeah, after like 5 or 6 years, I just decided that I didn't really love it anymore.
Gotcha.
It kind of felt like more of a chore, like, oh, well, this Saturday I have to be, I don't know. It just started to not really feel like fun.
Because of the lack of pay aspect of it, or because of the lack of pay, or?
Yeah, if there was a show, if someone asked me to do a show on a Saturday, I had to decide, was that worth not going to work for?
Ah, okay. Yeah, I understand that.
And at the time, there weren't a lot of shows on a Monday night or a Tuesday night. Like, New York City, there's something every night going on. But in Philly, it's kind of like Monday, Tuesday, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes even Thursday, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, I can
So
get
now
that.
I feel like there are a little bit more shows on like Mondays and Tuesdays and random nights. But at the time, I feel like I was just getting booked for like Friday or Saturdays.
Gotcha.
And so then I was like, well, I don't work the club during the week. Well, at the time I didn't. And I was like, but this, then I got to take off for this show. So I didn't really feel like it was always worth it. But if I still loved it, I wouldn't have cared.
I know that
That's
they.
what happened.
I know that type of work affords you creativity insofar as being able to do different costumes and different styles of dancing and that kind of stuff. So I can understand where it might have had that appeal. But I think doing anything and not really getting paid for it, for the hard work that you're putting into it, can be very, very discouraging.
I mean, I did get. I mean, there were a lot of shows that I got paid 100, 150. So it definitely wasn't like I was going home empty-handed.
Right.
But then you have to factor in like all the money that you put into the costume.
Sure.
And
like you
do
said-
a show a couple times in that number, it pays off,
Right.
So yeah, I never did a show for free.
But like you said, working at a club on a Saturday night, you're probably, unless you're a horrible dancer, you're going to do much more than $100 on a Saturday night.
I hope so. Yeah. Unless literally nobody comes in.
Right, exactly. Unless the place is...
Anything can happen in the strip club.
That's absolutely
Anything.
true. Yes, I learned that on many, many nights. We would prepare for absolute chaos to erupt, and it would be absolutely dead. And then we would get completely caught off guard thinking nobody's coming in on a Monday night, and we'd get slammed. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Is this kind of like the final plateau in your career, or are you looking to take it further into maybe doing adult films, or are you happy pretty much where you're at?
Well, I've never been against adult films, and I kind of teeter along the lines of it because I do fetish work.
Right.
And I do custom videos and clips and all of that, and I do like Skype sessions. So, I mean, really, what I'm doing on there, if someone just put that on the internet, I guess I would be technically termed, porn star, I guess. I mean...
Right. I mean, do you have a clips
You know
for
what I
sale
mean? I
store?
just haven't, actually been in, I haven't been in, a full-length film with another man.
Right.
I mean, with a man, so...
Do you have like a clips for sale store or anything like that?
I mean, I'm not against it.
Right.
No. I would advise not to.
Really? That's
I
interesting.
don't know. I have friends that were like, it's not really anything. I'm like, okay.
I know I have friends
And
that
then,
do that.
companies have hit me up and asked, if I would shoot with them, and then, they would pay me, and then they had the rights to the clips
Right.
forever.
Sure.
I just didn't think it was worth it.
Right. It seems like really with any type of a performance, whether it be, acting in Hollywood or acting in adult work, I think that you really need, in this day and age, it's unfortunate, but I think you really need really decent representation not to get fucked by somebody. And I mean that in the other way, but not to get royally screwed by some company that's trying to use your image or use your work for their personal gain.
Right.
So that you're getting some sort of a cut out of it that makes it worth your while. Because I mean, like you said, it's not going to be worth it if you, sell your rights away to work that you do, and then you never see it again. It'd be nice if you got some sort of cut of the sale, or I don't know if there's such a thing as residuals
Right.
in
And then
porn, but
who's to even be able to count that?
Sure.
So if they sold 100 and only told me they sold 10,
right.
how would I know?
Sure. Yeah. That's got to be difficult, though, to be able to keep up with all that. I didn't really think about that aspect of it. I wonder how people in the industry do deal with that shit, because, I mean, business in and of itself
People
is a
get fucked
shitty
over,
thing.
I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People get fucked over constantly,
That's all,
especially in the
you know?
industry. So I'm
I mean,
curious
they might
how
not know
they
it,
deal with
but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty. Well,
yeah,
I can certainly
I don't
understand
know. If I got a good offer, then
Right.
then yeah.
I know that there's friends of mine that do clips for sale stores, and they obviously you're making 100% of that profit. But from what I understand, it's a lot of fucking work too. If you really don't put a lot of work into it, you're really not going to get a whole lot out of it. Plus, you're doing all that marketing yourself, so I can
Right.
understand why they told you to kind of steer clear of it. But I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but it's interesting that they told you to kind of steer clear of that, because I would think that would be a better way to go insofar as having control of your content and making more of the money yourself anyway. But I'm not in it, so I don't really know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and now I'm jumping on the Snapchat.
I love
wagon.
Snapchat.
Finally. See, I don't get it because I haven't added anyone yet.
Gotcha.
Because this is my thing. I want to have it so that it's like a paid account.
Ah, okay.
So I think I want to do either monthly and for life. So for life, I would probably say, let's say $50. So you always have access to my Snapchat.
Right.
For as long as I have my Snapchat.
Sure.
And then, maybe $10 a month or something. Give people options. So then you would see my everyday life, but you would also, I would do nudes and,
sure,
maybe some naughty videos every now and again, make it worth it.
So how would you
I think that's the route that I'm going to go.
How would you keep track of that? Would you have to keep a list of who's paid up for the month, and then when they're not paid up, just then delete them off
and then
your Snapchat?
they pay through PayPal. Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I know
that's what I'm
Dillian
thinking.
Harper and a couple other girls do that too. I wasn't sure what the inner workings or logistics of how that would work, but I guess that makes more sense. But that's you'd have to have somebody to keep track of all that stuff too. Would the billing start at the first of the month, or when they actually paid for it? And there's a lot of logistics there to figure out too. That's interesting.
Right.
Is that obviously it's an easier way to go than to do cam work, but what about camming?
I do cam work too.
Okay. As somebody that does it.
I do cam shows.
Okay. Is that something that's going to be supplemental to that, do you think, or is it going to be in place of, or?
No, just another thing that I do.
Just another thing. I know that it's very there's got to be a lot of moving parts sometimes when you're a performer. So even as doing podcasts and stuff like that, social media is such a huge part of everybody's daily life these days when it comes to promoting anything that you do. You really have to almost kind of be like full-time working your social media and stuff like that in order to stay relevant and keep your brand out there and that kind of stuff. It's got to be exhausting for somebody to be online all the time, I would think, to be doing cam work and then having to do Snapchat and do Twitter. And does it ever get to be like, oh fuck, can I just take a break?
No, because a lot of my things are actually linked together. So when I post on Instagram, it also posts on my Facebook and my Twitter.
Oh, that's much easier. That's much easier. Since you brought that up, your Twitter, I want to make sure we've been promoting the right Twitter account for you, because it seems like that the last time... Oh, okay, it looks like it's much more updated. When I looked at it earlier, it didn't look like you had used it in a while. And then today it looks like
I don't use it that often, but when I do post on Instagram, I hit the button for Twitter. Gotcha. I don't actually go on my Twitter that often, probably not at all. So I don't know if the thing's post, but I set it to post to Twitter also.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, we've been promoting the hell out of your appearance on Twitter, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. It doesn't look like she's actually been using her Twitter account, but now the closer I look at it, it looks like, yeah, your Instagram's been linked to it, so that's probably why I didn't see it.
I opened it a couple years ago, and I started following John Stamos, and I think that's the only person, really, I think I'm following under like 20 people or something, and I remember he was the first one. And I thought that was like so cool, like, oh my god, like how people feel like when celebrities like their things.
Yes. Yeah.
Like randomly, like, oh my god, John Stamos just liked my picture or just tweeted my, whatever, retweeted me. I thought it was like a huge thing that I even like found him, like I added him on there.
Right. You didn't realize at that point that anybody could add anybody. It's just a matter of whether you get attention from that person. That's the whole thing.
Like I realized, like, oh wow, okay, I'm not special. That's kind of the point. Like, he wants as many followers as he can.
Right.
I was like, oh.
No, you're special. Don't say that. You're special. But you follow some interesting people, though. Dita Von Teese and, like you said, John Stamos, and not very many, but and then some local Philly stuff. Jade Vixen, who you'll be seeing on Saturday, you follow on Twitter, and some local Philly stuff and things of that nature. You follow some pretty cool people. Justin Timberlake. So. It's just
threw me right under the bus.
I wasn't that wasn't intended to throw you under the bus, but maybe.
Glad I don't have the real people that I like on there.
Why? That's a good thing.
Embarrassing, like.
What's wrong with Timberlake? Timberlake's cool, isn't he?
That's
No?
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, I'm glad I don't have like the real weirdos that I like on there. Oh my god.
But look, I mean, this is coming from a guy whose social media presence on the internet, and I'm talking about my personal account, not for the show's account. The show is all the Radio Freaks. It's all branding and stuff like that. But my personal shit, everything's under Wood Floor Liquor. So, I mean, you're not talking about anything that's going to, be embarrassing when you're talking to a guy that has a name like Wood Floor Liquor. So don't even worry about it. You should see some of the people.
Are you going to be at the show on Thursday?
I mentioned that right before you were on. I would love to, and we absolutely love Lainey on this show. We've been working with Lainey for years and years and years, and the fact that she's getting married, I could not be happier. I always thought that her and David would just be together, that they were never going to get married, but they were perfect for each other. And the fact that they're getting married, I love it. And unfortunately, this weekend is the exact same weekend as Fireman's Weekend, New Jersey State Firefighters Convention in Wildwood. So that's booked a year in advance, and it happens to fall on the same weekend. So unfortunately, I will not be up there this weekend. But I'm sure that, since we have crazy Puerto Rican friend in common, that eventually our paths will cross, because now that I've realized that we're friends with that mutual person, I'm sure it won't be long before we eventually wind up meeting each other in person.
Right.
You
probably have already. You were probably at Lou Turk's before. I probably gave you a lap dance.
You don't look like a grandma to me, that's for sure.
No, I'm a little too young for that.
Yes, you're a lot too young for that. I've said this about working there before, and let me know what your thoughts on this. Some people think I'm absolutely fucking crazy, and some people get it. But as somebody who's on the other side of the stage, when I was working security at these different places, it became for me, I made friends with so many performers and gave them ride home and that kind of thing, that we're not actually sitting there watching you perform. We're watching the other assholes making sure they behave themselves. But to see you guys every night in practically nothing, then kind of, at least on me, made the impression of, to see you like that is cool and all, but it's much more attractive for me, having seen you like that for so long, to see you in clothes as opposed to out of clothes. It's like a reverse psychology kind of a thing. Does that make sense at all?
Yes, I agree.
So it's not just me.
Completely. No, and it's probably universal.
Yeah, isn't that bizarre?
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
When the girls first come in, like before they get changed.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, I guess it's the same for the guys that like lingerie.
Right.
They don't want the whole thing, They just want the lingerie.
Yeah. I
think they want to guess what it looks like underneath.
It's not even so much that I want to guess. It's like I've seen what's underneath. Now I want to see how creative you can get with what you wear, almost kind of thing. It's interesting.
And how you wear it.
Exactly. And I always thought I was bizarre for
Mm-hmm.
that, but I'm glad that I'm being validated because I've caught so much shit for making that statement. So to have somebody else at least vilify what I'm saying makes me feel a little bit better about it. Because I've had friends that they just don't get it. They're like, you worked in a fucking strip club. You've got the best job in the world. I'm like, first of all, you really need to understand it's really not the best job in the world. First of all right, let's just throw that out there. Because not saying you specifically, because obviously I don't know you well enough yet to say that, but there are some of your coworkers who I've had the displeasure of dealing with on a regular basis that are almost more batshit crazy than the guys that we're protecting you from. So there's that.
Yeah.
And then having to deal with that. And then, of course, the assholes that think they're the exception to the rule and they can do what the fuck they want to, and we need to deal with those people. We were talking, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, about how I've never been into a physical altercation with another human being as an adult, with the exception of working as a bouncer at a strip club. And that's a whole nother ballgame, but that's not for personal reasons. So that's the only time I've ever had to get physical with another guy and throw him the fuck out is when I was bouncing. And it's just, to have that job is not what everybody thinks it's cracked up to be. You don't just stand there and watch girls strip all day. That's like the least amount of thing that you're doing when you're working.
You know, it's like that whole thing of like, oh, you want to go to Walmart and you want to ride in the handicap, little cart.
The carts, right.
But if you actually had to do that for your life, like on a day-to-day basis, it wouldn't be that fun.
That's
You'd want to stand up and you'd want to walk around. It's the same thing. Like they think oh, tonight they're gonna let me bounce here. And I guess your first night or couple nights or whatever is exciting.
Sure. Yeah,
But
it
then
wasn't bad.
Every day it's the same thing, same, same boobs, same butts.
Think about
It gets repetitive.
Yeah.
And it takes the excitement away from it.
to make a call back to a statement we made earlier. Let's say you're having pizza for dinner. Everybody loves pizza, but you have to have pizza every fucking night for the rest of your life. It's not going to be so appealing by the end of the first month. So,
right.
You're going to want a steak and some potatoes after a while.
Right.
Or in some Puerto Ricans' case, maybe some White Castle. I'm just saying.
Yes.
After seeing that on her Facebook page, there's a video going around of somebody that took a pizza and put McDonald's hamburgers on it, and then put another layer of pizza on top of it and made it into a stuffed McDonald's hamburger pizza.
Oh, God.
And I could not believe that somebody
That sounds
actually did
horrific.
that. It sounds great, but when you actually have to eat it, I'm thinking
No,
probably
it
not so
sounds
much.
horrible to me.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. So it's
It's like you have no energy afterwards to do anything but go to sleep.
exactly right. Ugh, horrendous. So I put that on her Facebook page afterwards, since she wanted to rub it in that she had White Castle tonight. So that's another one of those things. You can't eat very much of White Castle, or you're going to be in the bathroom for the next couple of days. That's a good once in a while kind of treat, but definitely not a regular thing. Well, are you working regularly?
Definitely not something I want to do before tomorrow.
No.
I definitely don't want to eat that tomorrow.
That
right
would
before the
definitely
show.
that would make your first dancing experience in New York a whole different event that you probably would not be looking forward to by the end of the night. So
Right, unless I make the papers or something.
What
the worst part is I probably wouldn't be the first girl.
Oh no.
In the New York City strip club scene, that shit herself on stage. I bet I'm not the first.
Oh no, I'm sure you probably are not at all.
Pretty bad.
Oh no.
That's pretty bad. I probably wouldn't make the papers.
It's pretty sad when you're going to a city where that's not news. New York,
Right.
Vegas, that's not news.
I am not going to be on a weird news story. It's already happened, and it happens frequently. They just assume it's going to happen.
Oh man. Have you ever been asked when you're doing your customs and stuff like that for weird shit? I would imagine that you get asked for weird shit like that all the time.
Feet. It's very common.
Oh, I'm sure. That's got to be really common, I would think.
Trying to think. Well, the weirdest ever was on webcam.
Okay.
And I think at that time I was on. What was I on? StreamMate. I think I was on StreamMate back then.
Okay.
This guy from Cali had asked me if I would watch him shit and then eat it.
All right.
And I had just started webcamming, and I'm like, yeah, who cares? Like, I think I had it set like $3 or $4 a minute, which is pretty high,
right?
For a newbie. So I don't know. I guess he was probably like 20 minutes, and that was a lot of money to me. I was like, wow, okay, this is cool, you know. And he never showed his face. Like, he would show from like his mouth down.
Interesting.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever had.
Ooh.
Yes.
I wonder if it was any.
And I did a couple sessions with him, and towards I think probably the last session, I actually got the balls up to ask him how did it get to that point.
Right.
And he said that he had regular fetishes like every other guy, the regular ones, and it got to the point where they just didn't do it for him anymore, so it got a little more extreme, and he thought, well, what's the worst thing you could make somebody do?
Right.
And that's what he thought of. So he would just have he would pay girls online to dom him and make him eat it.
Wow. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of guys out there.
I don't think nothing's topped that yet.
There's a lot of guys out there that
Nothing.
have that too. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Norton. He's a comedian, but he talks about that all the time, about how that level of perversion has been escalated and escalated and escalated and escalated to some just really odd shit that he's into now. And he actually is jealous of people that can have a normal relationship with not having those kinks and things involved, because it's much more simplistic. You don't have to constantly chase that next kinkier thing in your relationship.
Right.
To have somebody though that is interested in watching you eat their own shit. That's a new one though. I don't think I've ever heard of people into that. But I've said many times on this show too, if there's something out there that somebody is into, you're not alone. There's thousands and thousands of other people that are actually into it too. Whether they admit it or not is a whole nother story. But you're never alone.
Cakes turn me on. There's somebody out there that also gets turned on by cake. There's
exactly
everything now. And I feel like it wasn't really it became a race of people had to find something that nobody else liked, and then everyone started liking it.
Right. It's crazy. It's a matter of having people admit that they actually like it, first of all, because there's people out there that won't even admit that they actually watch porn. So there's that. But I think if you don't...
I've known people that said they've never even masturbated, and I'm like, that's a lie.
That's some bullshit.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, if you're not admitting that you at least masturbate, you're absolutely full of shit.
And if you don't, I don't even know. I can't even... Can I even be friends with you?
Yeah, not if you're...
What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, not if you're doing... Well, I would think that... I would think that most people would have an ability to carry on a conversation.
Sex drive. What are we going to talk about?
Right. I'm being told by one of our listeners in the chat room, I wouldn't eat shit, but I'd suck a fart out of her ass. So there's that.
I've been told that before. I feel like it's probably the same person.
Well, we just said if one person's willing to say it, there's other people
like,
out there.
Like almost exact. Yeah, like I feel like I'm having deja vu.
Yeah, fear is a little bit twisted. He's one of our regular listeners. He's a little bit twisted to begin with, so I wouldn't doubt it. But
his name's Fear?
Yeah, his nickname
I fear him?
is no, definitely not fear him. He's a really good guy. He's one of our regulars in the chat room. You can make up like a screen name, and that's his irrational fear is his screen name. So.
Okay.
But the way our show works is because we don't have you.
So his name's like Bob.
Yeah, probably.
Bob, but you can call me Fear.
Because we don't have you on a video conference or anything, we put up pictures of the person that we're talking to, and then that whole on the phone with and your name. So there's pictures of you.
Because I have no makeup on, and I just came from the tanning salon. So I'll be pretty tomorrow, just not right now.
Oh, I'm sure you're fine. We have pictures of you cycling
I have a paper
through.
bag over my head just in case you wanted to do video. I cut out some holes.
like the unknown comic from back in the 70s that used to do stand up with a paper bag over his head. He says
I don't know about him.
No,
I have to look him up.
Go on YouTube, look up the unknown comic. He says his name's
Yeah,
Justin.
I like Nick Hedberg, so I could just put like sunglasses on and have some of my hair in my face, and then we're good. We're fine.
Gotcha. Fear says he goes by irrational fear because that's what he suffers from, but his name is Justin, actually. So.
Oh, well, I have anxiety and I have a bunch of phobias, so I completely understand.
There you go. See that, Fear? You got something in common already. And our buddy Big A is checking in. So you're going to meet this guy tomorrow. He is probably 6'5", bigger guy, but he's rapidly losing weight, and good for him, Andrew. His name's Andrew. We call him Big A. He has
I've dated a lot of Andrews.
Really? I bet.
Yeah, and the name Andrew is a reoccurring theme.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure why.
Well, Big A, you got something to look forward to. You got an in already because your name's Andrew.
right. You were in from birth.
He's a very, very nice guy. He's a sweetheart. Got a heart of gold. Very good friend of ours. His name's Andrew. He's got a small stuttering problem, but really, he's got a heart of gold, and he loves coming up there to see all you guys at headquarters.
Him.
Did you meet Big A already?
I met him last night.
Really? No. Oh, that's right. When you were doing that, when you were over at Anthony's place.
Not last night, the night before.
Yes, when you were on Pat Dixon's
show.
show.
He took pictures for me.
Yes. Andrew's checking in the chat room. He's a good friend of ours.
Yes.
So he wanted me to tell you hello. He's in the chat room.
He'll be there tomorrow. Cool.
Yes. He'll be there. He's I'm trying to help Andrew out.
I just met him.
I'm trying to help Andrew out as though you've never met him before, but you already know exactly who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a crazy Puerto Rican, but he's a pretty nice guy.
Right. And he's tall. I mean, he's still got a couple inches on Liz. But,
yes.
But it's,
we all have. The curb has a few inches on Liz. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, no, she's up there. She's
when
like
she wears
5'10" or...
when she wears heels, she's big, but she's not that tall, is she?
No, she's tall. I'm only 5'4", and I look up at her.
Really? I always thought she was shorter. I'm 6 foot, so maybe that's why I thought she was short.
She is tall. No, I don't see. She's tall, and I don't think she's like 6 foot tall.
No,
she's close. I think she's close up there.
I haven't actually stood.
5'10".
I haven't stood next to her recently. I was sitting next to her yesterday, but we were in our cars. We never got out of our cars because she doesn't know how to fucking park. We met at the Wawa in Pennsauken, so I could help her out. I was giving her a CPR card, and
that's where I live.
She is it? She she pulled in
Yeah.
and on a diagonal. I couldn't even get out to get a fucking hug from this bitch because she doesn't know how to fucking park. And she pulls up right next to my door. I couldn't even get out. So we're just sitting in the cars talking to each other.
Oh my god.
So I didn't even get a chance to stand next to her yesterday, but she's a sweetheart. I love Liz. She's a good girl. So that's pretty interesting that we had that person in common. I just she's really very special to me, and the fact that she's special to you is just a testament to the person that she is. And I'm not just buttering her up because I know she's going to listen to this later, but her and I have been friends for a very long time.
We have a bond because she left. I don't know who left first, but I'm going to say she left the hood first.
Gotcha.
And moved to a white neighborhood.
Yes.
And then I quickly followed suit, and I don't think we knew we were going to see each other again. But then we realized we both moved to the same white town. So we were stuck with each other all of middle school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm an EMT also, and that's obviously how I know Liz. But I had a friend of mine that used to work with us who used to call that neighborhood Cam Saucon because it's right on the border there. So I was busting her chops about that yesterday, that she lives in Cam Saucon, but she's actually north of that. She's on the Cinnaminson side of Pensauken. So
She's still there.
yes. And we were discussing her need to, that's a whole other.
In high school, we called smell air.
Very original names we come up with when we're in high school, aren't they?
Yes. Which I hung out in smell air. We still called it smell air. And we used to, me and my friends used to go swimming in the Delaware River in smell air. And it's a good thing I don't have any kids because they probably would come out with birth defects.
Yeah, right? The water in that in our general area here, not the best. Not known to be the best.
No, and especially not the Delaware River because it's shared with Philly.
Yes.
And in the springtime, the floaters come up.
That's exactly right. Yes, they do. And we have plenty of bridges for them to jump from, too. So
and I
there's
used to swim in that.
Ugh, more power to you. More power to you. Well, I want everybody to go up and meet our new friend, Loretta Vendetta, tomorrow night at Headquarters Gentlemen's Club. I'm deeply sorry for many reasons, not the least of which because I'm going to miss meeting you, that I'm not going to make it tomorrow night. But I'm sure that I will have other opportunities to eventually meet you. But it was great having you on the show. I cannot believe that I just by chance happened to be commenting on something of Liz's tonight, and it turns out that you're good friends of hers. You're actually friends with a few friends of mine. There's a girl, Danny, who does some modeling work that you guys shoot with some of the same photographers, so she knows you, and a couple other people that we run in the same circles with. So I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we eventually run into each other in person. So
Definitely.
But you can run into Loretta tomorrow night in person at Headquarters Gentlemen's Club, her premier dancing debut in New York City. Headquarters Gentlemen's Club, along with the beautiful Peyton Sinclair, our good pal Leighton Benton, Venus Lux, Nina Lavoie, Dynamite Sex, Kelly Provocateur, and Francisco will all be performing, and hosted by our pal Big J Okerson and our pal Ralph Sutton from the SDR show. They're going to be hosting the entire thing, and there's going to be all sorts of giveaways from Dallas Novelty, all in celebration of Miss Laney getting married and throwing this Pornapalooza bachelor party for herself. Doors open at 7 p.m. The show starts at 10. For more information, go to hqnewyork.com. Headquarters is located at 552 West 38th Street, across from the Javits Center in New York City. Loretta, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. We really, really appreciate it, and I definitely will. I will definitely look forward to meeting you in person very, very soon. Hopefully, not over at Lou Turk's.
No, I haven't been there in a while. You probably won't see me there.
We'll take you over to that Delaware.
You don't have to hang out at the Wawa to find me.
We'll take you over to the Delaware Avenue location and ask them what the fuck.
Right.
Oh, I would just tell you before I let you go, I wanted to mention this to you, and I just the picture just popped up and it reminded me. There's 2 pictures of you that we found that are in the gallery cycling for people to see that I thought were just really, really cool. And I don't know if this is something that you're into or you just did it for a shoot or what, but there's a shot of you in a phone booth dressed as kind of like a retro Wonder Woman. And then there's a picture of you bent over a case of some sort with Wonder Woman panties on that are just gorgeous, 2 gorgeous pictures. And I didn't know, are you like a comic book geek or did you just do that to role play for a shoot or?
Both.
Or do you even remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, the phone booth, I had black hair, and the other picture you mentioned, I had blonde hair.
That's right. Yes. I just thought they were really, really cool pictures. I didn't know if comic books were something that you were into or if you just did it for a shoot or.
Yeah, I mean, and who doesn't like Wonder Woman?
Of course. Especially with, the Justice League movie coming out soon and her appearance in Batman versus Superman. It's great to see.
Those 2 pictures are very, very, very old, especially the blonde one.
Uh-huh.
That's in, like, the archives. That's probably... It's old. It's old. I can't put a time on it, but it's old.
Gotcha. Well, they're beautiful pictures, and I just wanted to let you know that they're really, really, really nice. I appreciated seeing those. So, go see our Loretta Vendetta tomorrow night at headquarters, and thank you so much for joining us tonight, Loretta. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Welcome.
Have a great night.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, too. Bye-bye.
Loretta Vendetta, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Radio Freaks. Go check her out on social media. She's on Twitter at Queen of Asses on Twitter. Follow her Instagram as well. Her Instagram, I should have had this up already, I believe is Queen of Asses also. Nope, it's Loretta Vendetta. Go check her out on Instagram, Loretta Vendetta. Twitter at Queen of Asses. And like I said, go check her out tomorrow night at Headquarters Gentlemen's Club, right across from the Javits Center in New York City, as part of Porno Palooza, Miss Laney's bachelor party. Go check it out and meet all those beautiful women in person. Help celebrate Laney getting married. Doors open at 7. The party starts at 10 o'clock. HQNewYork.com for more information. And go see our pal Adam Ferrara tomorrow night. I'm sorry, tomorrow night he'll be traveling, but Friday night at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. For more information, go to adamferrara.com. And if you miss him there, you can see him in Sarasota on Saturday. And then Governors in Long Island next weekend. Followed by Magooby's Joke House in Timonium, Maryland the week after that, the first week in October. So follow him on Twitter at Adam Ferrara to get tickets. And for more tour dates, go to adamferrara.com. He'll be down here in Philly at Helium in March, which is usually when he's down here, right in the heat of blizzard season down here in Philadelphia. So if you miss any of those dates, you can check him when he comes down here in March, when I usually go check him out. Another great show. Fear's going off to dry off kittens. Big A's going out to strangle some kittens. And I'm going to go play with my pussy. So until next week, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/The Radio Freaks. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Radio Freaks. And until next week, we'll see you right back here next Wednesday, 9 p.m. East, 6 p.m. West. Follow us, listen to the show, radiofreaks.tv. Follow us on, subscribe to us on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio. Until next week, see ya!